When working in non-permissive environments, you expect a lot from your helmet. It needs to be light, have the highest fragmentation and protection possible, and be able to stop Type 3A handgun threats. Most ballistic helmets do the latter. Fewer do frag and 3A threats, and it gets narrowed down to a couple when it comes to being lightweight. The Delta X shell weighs a mere 1.26 pounds. With suspension, rails, shroud, and pads, it comes to 2.2 pounds. Compare this to other high-cut helmets that weigh anywhere from 2.4 to 2.8 pounds complete, and you have the lightest helmet meeting the above standards on the market as of this review. Does the small amount of weight make a difference? Honestly, it depends on what you do. I'll tell you that I can certainly feel the difference when doing long missions wearing this helmet. That's less weight compressing the vertebrae of my neck, which equals less pain. This keeps me more alert and aware of what's occurring around me. And if you're used to wearing the Mitch 2001 or the ACH type helmets, you'll be amazed at the difference, as the Delta X sports a 40% weight reduction compared to many of those systems. The Delta X helmet is a true one-size-fits-all affair due to the padding and suspension systems, which allows it to accommodate a wide variety of heads. I've had a couple different people try this on, and they've been able to make it fit perfect. When ProTech designed this helmet, they designed the lightest shell they possibly could, and then they outfitted it with some of the best accessories the market has to offer right now. It sports the Team Wendy Epic Air Pads, and I've used these pads in the past on different types of helmets, and they give you excellent airflow within the helmet. Airflow is often a design feature that's overlooked in my opinion, because if you don't have good airflow, you're going to sweat more. If you sweat more, you're going to get dehydrated, so you need to carry more water. If you're not carrying more water, then you need to plan your mission around resupply or water sources, then you have to have a purifier or iodine, and you run into problems there. So point of all that is have good airflow so you don't sweat so much. Ration your sweat, not water. To allow for that universal fit I was talking about earlier, ProTech went with the Team Wendy Cam Fit retention system, and it uses a BOA closure system, which basically it stabilizes the weight by applying even pressure around the entirety of your head. This allows the helmet not to shift so much compared to a lot of other systems. Also, when you tighten it down, it's not going to back off, then you're going to have to keep retightening it. And why this is so important is because there's a lot of cheaper helmets out there, but they don't use really good suspension systems. What happens then is when you're doing hard, fast movements such as transitioning between targets or bringing the gun up to your eyesight or looking down into your optic, you often have that helmet shift, fall down into your nose, make your eyes water, all that type of stuff. You don't want that happening, so a good suspension system is pretty vital. I've also jumped out of C-130J that was traveling 130 knots with this helmet on, and it didn't shift as I exited the aircraft. And I've had pretty much every helmet that I've ever worn has shifted somewhat when I've jumped out of an aircraft, so the Delta X has an excellent suspension system. The Delta X also uses the Wilcox L4 series of the NVG shroud. This is kind of like the go-to gold standard of shrouds in my opinion, and it was an excellent choice for them. What's really interesting to me is the rail design that they used. So they use a boltless rail design. It's actually secured via epoxy. And I was pretty skeptical of this at first as well, but what the epoxy allows for is because there's no holes drilled into the shell itself, you don't have any points in the helmet where there is ballistic compromise. So you have a full strength shell all the way around. The company that made the boltless rail is Armor Source, and they tested the epoxy extensively. I've tested it myself because I've taken this through some pretty hard training, and I have seen no evidence of the rail ever separating at all. So I'm pretty confident in this system working for the foreseeable future. Basically what it comes down to is the Delta X is, in my opinion, the latest and greatest in ultra lightweight helmet design. It sports the lightest shell on the market, and it has superb frag and Type 3A handgun protection. ProTech did their homework and outfitted this helmet with the best helmet accessories available today. What you get is a premium helmet, which is to date the most comfortable ballistic helmet I've ever worn. Honestly, words kind of fail when it comes to expressing how much this helmet has relieved neck pain I typically get when landing long tempo ops. The features and engineering all come together to give you a robust helmet that will not fail you when your life depends on it. This is my go-to helmet for the foreseeable future.
3.48.